I now give the floor to the representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Madam President, for giving me the floor. It has been more than 4 years since the Taliban came to power. It was hoped that the Taliban would transform and evolve into a responsible governing entity and lead the country into a new era of peace and prosperity with good neighborliness and adherence to international obligations. As an immediate neighbor, in order to secure a peaceful and stable Afghanistan, Pakistan regularly facilitated dialogue and engagement with the Taliban authorities. Last year, for example, we had a series of high-level visits to Kabul, presenting a number of initiatives assisting in humanitarian relief efforts, offering bilateral trade incentives, liberalized visa regime, transit concessions, and participating in regional platforms to help Afghanistan integrate with the region and beyond. And to recall here that to facilitate direct dialogue, the international community had also extended an olive branch to the Taliban during the Doha III process with the expectation that they would deliver on 3 key international demands, that is, counterterrorism, human rights, and inclusive governance. And I think it's clear from today's discussion also that regrettably they have failed to deliver on all 3 counts. Madam President, today Afghanistan is a sanctuary for terrorist groups and proxies, a reality acknowledged by global assessments, including UN reports and UN monitoring team. This has destabilized the region with dire consequences and security challenges for its immediate neighbors, particularly Pakistan. Terrorism emanating from Afghan soil poses a grave threat not only to its immediate neighbors but also to the broader region and beyond, undermining regional and international peace and security. Terrorist entities including TTP, BLA, and its Majid Brigade, ISIL-K, Al-Qaeda, and ETIM enjoy safe havens inside Afghanistan, from where they launch cross-border infiltration, violent attacks, and suicide bombings. Elements within the Taliban regime have chosen the path of complicity and active support of these groups, with external backing and sponsorship of our eastern neighbor, a known opportunist and spoiler, providing logistical support and financing to wage a proxy war against Pakistan. Pakistan has since witnessed a surge in terrorist attacks, planned, financed, and orchestrated from Afghan soil under the Taliban regime's direct watch. We have lost thousands of lives to terrorism-related incidents since the Taliban takeover. And just last month, more than 175 innocent Pakistani lives were lost, including in 3 suicide attacks. We would like to warn that spillover effects of the terrorism nurturing in Afghanistan will not remain confined to Pakistan. Madam President, Pakistan has always prioritized dialogue. Numerous diplomatic efforts were made to counsel the Taliban and to convey our concerns. Recent mediation efforts facilitated by the sincere support of brotherly countries, particularly Qatar, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia, also have not yielded the desired results. The Taliban's continued failure to undertake substantive action, their rigid reluctance to provide assurances and guarantees, and refusal of their leadership to publicly denounce and condemn terrorist groups such as the TTP and BLA highlights the scale of their complicity and active support. Terrorist groups are collaborating through joint training, illicit weapons acquisition, and coordinating attacks. But Pakistan will not sit idle while suffering from terrorist acts from across the Afghan border that target our border posts, law enforcement agencies, and civilian infrastructure, including public spaces of worship and schools. We have confiscated large caches of sophisticated military-grade modern equipment left behind by foreign forces in Afghanistan during our counterterrorism operations. Madam President, after showing maximum restraint, on 21st and 22nd of February, Pakistan carried out intelligence-based selective targeting of 7 terrorist camps and hideouts belonging to the TTP and its affiliates and the ISIL-K and the bordering regions with precision and accuracy. But on 26th February, the Taliban publicly declared their decision to initiate hostilities against Pakistan across multiple border locations with unprovoked firing and shelling of border posts and military installations. In exercise of its right to self-defense, Pakistan took retaliatory measures against hostile targets and logistical bases used by terrorist groups. Our actions have been proportional, based on careful planning with necessary due diligence and directed solely against identified terrorist camps and support bases. Pakistan will take all necessary defensive measures for the protection of its citizens, territory, and sovereignty. Our counterterrorism operations will continue for as long as it takes to degrade the combat capabilities of terrorist groups and support infrastructure. While UNAMA mentions the reported civilian casualties during cross-border clashes, it has not presented a realistic overview of Afghanistan's security dynamics and efforts to prevent illicit trade and destabilizing accumulation of small arms and light weapons and their diversion in Afghanistan and the region, as mandated by the Council. The presence of terrorist entities in Afghanistan cannot be delinked from the security situation. UNAMA's ability to accurately verify incidents of border clashes and reports of civilian casualties in an environment where access to areas outside Kabul is restricted and strictly monitored by the Taliban poses serious questions of credibility. Madam President, ordinary and vulnerable Afghans are suffering from Taliban's inhumane restrictions and misplaced priorities. Sanctions, a dysfunctional banking system, drying up foreign aid, poverty, terrorism, narcotics, and human rights violations weigh heavily on Afghanistan's socio-economic landscape, a direct result of Taliban's reckless behavior. Continued restrictions on women and girls inside Afghanistan are inconsistent with Islamic traditions and norms of Muslim society. Pakistan fully shares the international community's concerns on human rights and the discriminatory treatment of women and girls. Increasing financing gaps in humanitarian needs and response plan for 2026, requiring $1.71 billion for basic needs, demonstrates lack of support for a regime that is willing to sacrifice the welfare of its people for its own flawed policies. Madam President, for over 4 decades, Pakistan welcomed millions of Afghan refugees despite constraints and inadequate international support, coping with the huge caseloads of illegal Afghans without documentation, posing a serious threat to our security. These were not meant to be indefinite stays. While we continue to extend all possible facilitation, the international community must shoulder its responsibility, share this burden, and uphold commitments which have been long delayed, unkept, and at times reversed. Shifting the blame of Afghanistan's woes to the inflow of returnees does not reflect ground realities either. Madam President, Pakistan has consistently advocated for sustained engagement with Afghanistan. We look forward to the next steps of the UN-led Doha process and action plan for its mosaic approach to address Afghanistan's multifaceted challenges comprehensively with well-defined objectives and a realistic roadmap as the only viable pathway to lasting peace in Afghanistan. Without reciprocity from the Afghan Taliban regime, we fear that we go nowhere. As immediate neighbors bound by geography with deep-rooted ties, cultural linkages, and fraternal bonds, no country desires peace and stability in Afghanistan more than Pakistan. And no country has suffered more from the consequences of decades of conflict and instability in Afghanistan than Pakistan. We wish to see a peaceful, stable, interconnected, and prosperous Afghanistan at peace with itself and its neighbors, a point also highlighted by the Deputy SRSG. Pakistan's demand from Afghanistan has always been singular and clear: verifiable and non-reversible action against terrorists. This demand remains unmet to date. The Taliban must first and foremost ensure that their territory is not used for terrorism against neighboring countries and take demonstrable steps to deny space to terrorist groups and proxies. I thank you.